In the latest 2021 release of DDM, folder access controls have been extended to allow for the concept of non-owner groups. Previously, if you were not a member of the owning group of a folder, then you didn't have any permissions on that folder. Sometimes as a manager, for example, you may want to add files to a folder while it is owned by a different group or after it has been closed. So let's take a look at this now. So here I have an installation report for a project that has been closed. This one here. So if we just pin this to make it easy to find, and if I go now back to my pinned folders, and we'll find this folder, and if we open that and then come back to my recent items, if I take this installation report, copy reference and go to the folder, you'll see that I can't paste it in here. So it's owned by Folder Archive and the project has been closed, so all permissions have been withdrawn for this folder, so we can't make any changes to it. So we're going to take a look at now at how the access controls have been extended in a way that will allow us to do this. So if we go into DDM administration, and we can modify these access controls either from access controls here or against the folders. The two groups that we're going to look at in this session are project management department. So as a project manager, I may want to add a document to a completed project, and later on we're going to look at a change order, and we're going to be looking at the change order controllers. So if we have a look here, we can see I'm a member of that group, and I'm also a member of the project management department. So we're going to first of all edit the access controls from the folder definition itself. So if we go into projects, and then here we can see the access controls. So we have our basic access controls here, and as a member of the project management department, we have visibility of the folder at all states, and we have the ability to create folders at the proposed state. We then have our general access controls, and here you can see the full list, so modify, change state, delete, add divider, etc. And the thing that we're now going to extend or use to extend our permissions is the not as owner group. So this completed project is owned by Folder Archive, but we're going to add the project management department and add some controls for completed or closed projects. So you can see we've got a full matrix here of access controls that we can set. Modify will give us the ability to modify the folder attributes. State change would allow us to change the state of the folder, but as this folder is in a workflow, the state change is controlled by the workflow. Permission to delete the folder, which I don't want to add. Permissions against dividers, so to add, edit and delete dividers, but the controls we're interested in are the ability to add a child, so add a document. Modify child links. Modify child links means that we can add that document or remove it from a divider, so it's those relationships within the folder, and then the ability to remove a document or a child if we've added it by mistake. So if we can confirm that, and if we go back to DDM, let's once more copy this, and if we go to the folder, you'll see we still don't have modified permissions here, but if I go to the divider itself and paste in here, you can see we've now pasted this document into the closed and completed project. So a useful extension to the access controls against folders. The second example we'll take a look at is against a change order. So here we've got a change order that is in process. So if we look at the workflow, it's being worked on by one of the engineers. Again, I don't have any permissions against this because I'm not part of the change order member group. What I am a member of is the change order controllers. And it might be, for example, if I look at my recent items, we've got a structural report that it might be useful for the engineer to see in making the changes that he's doing at this point in the process. So if we go back into our admin area, this time we'll do it from access controls, and we're interested in change orders. So here we can see the different groups that are involved in change orders, and it's the change order controllers that I'm interested in. So again, our default permissions, our permissions as owner, and our permissions as not owner. So in this case, I'm also going to add, so this is active, we're going to add modify permission, and we're going to again add the same permissions to add and remove children. So if we can confirm that, go back to DDM, then one thing to note is the non-owner permissions don't allow us to add documents to folder using the reserve to reference to manager. So if we have a look here and look at reference to folder, then the folder won't appear in this list because this just relates to owner permissions. And so we can either do it as I did before with a copy and paste, or we can do it by drag and drop. So if I open the folder window here, we'll just tile our windows, go to the contents, and this is reference information. So the structural report that I want to add, I can drag and drop now into this folder. Now I did add modify permission, so if I open that folder window again, you'll see that I now have edit permission on the folder through that change I made to the access controls.